Is at the last show of the tour, but it's the last show that we'll ever do. Thank you.
Lights, please. As many of you, particularly Alan, know, as well as a crypto-zoologist in the 14, I'm a rock and roll archaeologist. And I edit a music magazine that comes out every week, and every week a large proportion of it is written by him, and her, and occasionally him. So yeah, it's the same people who write CFZ stuff, end up writing the stuff for the music magazine. But I see it as one of my jobs as a rock and roll archaeologist to go back and see things in context. That little piece of footage up there was from the Hammersmith Odeon on the 3rd of July 1973, and I still remember the next day at school. David Bowie's not going to tour anymore. He's retiring. It's over. Well, of course it wasn't over. It isn't even over now. When he died in January, there's still music coming out, and we can replay all these hundreds of concerts which are still around. But what Bowie said was, it is the last show we are ever going to do. And by we, he meant his alter ego, Ziggy Stardust, and the band, the Spiders from Mars. And it was the last show that he ever did with the Spiders from Mars. Now, for the first time in 17 years, I'm not going to say, I'll see you next August. I'm not saying that the Weird Weekend is coming to an end. Even if I don't do another one, Glenn, where's Glenn gone? There's Glenn. Glenn has Weird Weekend North next April. Lars has Weird Weekend Scandinavia next June. And I think it's quite probable that at some time in the future there'll be another Weird Weekend in Devon. But I'm not making any commitments. I don't know when, I don't know where, I don't know how. When I first intimated on the internet that this was going to be the last one, somebody wrote to me from America saying, "But John, you've been doing it so long." Yeah, I was 40 when I started. Tomorrow I'm going to be 3 years shy of 60. And I know there are people in this audience who are considerably older than me who go, "How many miles did you run this morning?"
About 6.5.
That's just sick.
It's about my age, you see.
There are people who are considerably older than me who are considerably healthier than me. But as you can see, I can hardly stand up, I can hardly walk. And my body, once somebody said, "John, you ought to remember that your body is a temple." Fuck off, I said, my body's chemical treatment works. As you can see, my days of being able to climb up mountainsides or go for 6.5 mile runs or anything are long gone. I'd like to thank you all for coming this weekend. It's been a really, really special one, and at the risk of misquoting David Bowie, this is going to stay in my heart for a long time, because even if it isn't the last one that I'll ever do, it's been probably the nicest that we've done in years. I managed to achieve one of my bucket list things. There were 4 people who haven't been to the Weird Weekend that I wanted to get. Mick Farron in 2013 said he would do the 2014 one, but he died. Ken Campbell was going to do the Weird Weekend, he suddenly died. And John Michel was going to do it. All 3 were friends of mine, he died. And I'm so pleased that the last person on my bucket list, Steve Ignorant, came and did it yesterday, because I think he was absolutely bloody magnificent. The Weird Weekend probably will continue in some form or other, but it's going to be different. I don't know how different, why different, or what different. But one thing I do want to reassure you all, the Centre for Fortean Zoology will carry on for as long as I am able to do it, for as long as I am alive, and I hope for a long time afterwards. In the last year or so, We've resurrected our magazine, Animals and Men, which since we changed to the new subscription model, so Animals and Men now goes out for free as a flip book, and then a couple of months later is published as hard copy and as a Kindle ebook that people can buy. We used to get about 150 to 200 people read each issue. Would you like to guess how many people read the last issue? 19,500. And yeah, that totally, I saw Nathan go, I'm amazed, it just totally does my head in. That the magazine that I started for fun back in 1994, I started just as basically a cock-a-snookered society, has got 16,500 people reading each issue, and that's just insane. The yearbook is back. I have other projects that I want to do. The CFZ is going to carry on going onwards and upwards, and all that remains is I want to thank you all for coming. I want to thank all the people but for whom I couldn't have done this. And I want to say good night and God bless you all. Thank you very much indeed.